Where were you looking? Go. Are we going?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Kia ora everybody, welcome back to week 10. It's your two of your favourite heads of school. Back in again with another assembly. First off, we'd just like to start off with a karakia. Ha ki roto, ha ki waho, kia tau te mauri o kōkiri nei, i ngā piki me ngā heke, ko te rangi Māori e taku e rapu nei. Ti hei mauri ora. Next, we'd like to just welcome Matua Andy for his principal's address.
Morena koutou. I know that we all struggle with dad jokes and back in the day stories, but I am going to start with a back in the day story. Where I grew up in a little town called Trentham, in a street where we knew virtually everyone and the mums and dads were uncles and aunties, it was instilled in us from a pretty early age that you actually have to look after one another. So when my dad went to the tip, or when any other dad went to the tip, the first thing that they did was to make sure that their trailer was not only full of their stuff, but they checked in on the neighbours to see what they could take for them. If someone was sick and they were unwell, the neighbours all got together, cooked up kai, took it over to the neighbours so that they didn't need to worry about cooking. Or if someone went away and the lawns were getting a bit long, someone went down there and cut their lawns for them. In other words, the community looked after one another. People looked after one another. If kids were at home and they didn't like what they were going to have for kai, like if the dad wanted tripe and onions, well, you just didn't go home when you smelled tripe and onions. You went next door and you knocked on the door and said, "Auntie, Dad's having tripe and onions tonight. Can I stay for tea at your fella's place?" Or if you'd had savaloys the night before and you knew that you were going to get savaloy soup the next day, you arranged with the neighbours and that to go and have a kai over there so you didn't have to put up with that. But what it was all about was looking after each other, volunteering to do stuff, making sure that you didn't just do things for yourself. Growing up like that was really important to me because it's actually taught me how good it feels to actually care, look after and uplift other people. And some might say that you guys are a generation that don't do that so often, and I disagree. You guys do an amazing job of looking after each other. This school is really, really special in the way that people look after each other, and it gives me a great deal of pleasure to actually acknowledge one of our school members today, and that's Lana. I'm going to invite Lana in. It's a big congratulations to Lana because today Lana has earned her Silver Student Volunteer Army pin from last year. This means that she's volunteered over 250 hours of her time for volunteer service. So I really want to acknowledge you in the first instance, Lana. It's absolutely fantastic. Here's your volunteer service pin, and I hope that others look up to you and should be inspired by the stuff that you do and the time you give up for others. So thank you so much for that. Could I also say to Year 9s and above students to check your email for how to sign up to become a volunteer and to start putting your hours down for your Volunteer Service Award. And in closing, I'd also like you to really take a lot of notice about the PB4L message that's coming up next. Kia ora koutou.
Ngā mihi matua Andy, congratulations Lana. Next I would like to invite up Matua Jared for the PB4L theme.
Kia ora kaya. What a really nice way, kia ora te whānau, what a really nice way to lead into our PB4L message for this week, which is all around inclusiveness and diversity. And I really love the way that Matua Andy has kind of led into to this next section here because, and I'm really grateful to Matua Riki too, for providing us with a kiwaha, a saying, in fact, for this week to guide and direct our thoughts and for us to be thinking about it. And that kiwaha is tātou, tātou, nei. 3 words, well, 2 really, and keeping it really simple. And a simple translation of that is together we're one. But essentially what's yours is mine. And it's that lovely story of sharing is caring, but also continues on from our beautiful value of whakaute in terms of awhi mai, awhi atu, and also continues on again with that value of kia mā nawa nawa, to be patient, but also for our third and final part of our value, which is kōrero pono, to talk positively to one another. And I want to pick up on that message for today about inclusiveness and diversity. You know, we're really privileged here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, to live in a country that celebrates diversity, that celebrates inclusiveness. And I want to challenge each and every one of us to always remember that our brothers and sisters are not necessarily the same as us, and that's okay. That it's okay to be different, and that's what makes living in Aotearoa and the freedom to be able to do so really awesome. And I want to encourage you all to look at the slideshow that's going to be presented to you throughout this week. And there's a short clip, a 3-minute clip, that I'd love you to be thinking about in terms of what it shows about diversity and inclusiveness, but also thinking about, what does freedom actually mean to you? What does diversity actually mean to you? And also, when we are talking to our friends, when we're talking to our whānau, whoever we're talking to stop and to think about the words that come out of our mouth. Are they being true? Are they being kind? Are they being helpful to our brothers and sisters? And I want to end, in fact, on 2 things. Firstly, I'd like to remind us all about some of the reflection questions that you're going to be posed with this week. And that is, what do you appreciate about yourself? How does your purpose relate to your sense of meaning? And what have you learnt this week that has made you grow as a person? And also, how can you help others to feel included? How can you help others to feel valued? And on that note, I'd love us, please, to end on one of my favourite authors of all time. And in fact, this is a quote from Dr. Seuss. And he says, "Be yourself, because the people who mind don't matter. And the people that matter don't mind." Kia ora e te whānau.
Cool, ngā mihi matua Jared. I'm sure we'll all take away something from what you've just said and implant it into how we are around our kura as well as outside. Now I'd like to invite Miss Mack and a few of the girls from the Health and Environment Council to speak.
Kia ora koutou. Welcome back to school, those that have been away, and also anyone tuning in from home. We really hope you're going okay. Last week I talked to you about positive self-talk, giving yourself positive messages, but also giving kind messages not only to yourself but to others, which we're hearing a little bit about today. It's really important. The next thing I want to talk to you about is a new app that's come out. It's called Groove. GROOV. It's been put out by the Ministry of Health. It's a free online mental health app. Some of you might have heard of an ex-All Black called John Kerwin, and he's done some work around mental health and depression over the years, and he's behind this new app. And I downloaded it and had a look last week, and it's got some really interesting stuff on it, personality tests, things around kindness wheels, meditation and mindfulness, it's got lots of different bits of information, so it's worth a look. And now I'd just like to hand over to the girls who have been doing some great work with our Health and Environment Council, just to tell you what's been going on.
Last week the Water and Environment Council started up our weekly rubbish house competition. Thanks to everyone who got in behind this and are using the bins. We want to do a shout out to 3 Year 7 boys, Leo, Felix and Riley, who went and got gloves and rubbish bags from the Student Centre and spent some of their break times collecting rubbish last week. That was awesome. The house points this week go to Dima and Cody in first place, who get 15 points, Tortida in third place, who get 9 points, and Marta in fourth place, who get 6 points. We will be checking rubbish at the end of the week each week, so keep putting it in those house bins.
And we're going to carry on with our Wellbeing Wednesday theme. It was cool to see students in the Hawk Block last Wednesday playing petanque, cornhole and croquet. It will be happening again this Wednesday, so come over and join in. Everyone is welcome. If you have any other ideas for lunchtime activities, please let us know.
Alrighty, thanks for that, girls. Now we have the notices. So this Friday, this Friday we're going to have a non-uniform day as to raise money for the student council. The theme is to be confirmed because we haven't come up with one just yet, but it'll be announced over the intercom sometime before Friday when we have a theme. So actually, if you guys have any ideas on a theme, please come and see us, I don't know, at lunch or something, if you have any ideas for that. Yep.
Okay, cool. The next notice is just for anyone year 11 and up who may be interested in playing social netball. Please go see Kirsty if you're keen. Yeah, thank you. And next one.
And last, we're going to invite Sophie up to talk about her notice. Okay,
Kia ora. There is a 3v3 basketball game happening next week on Tuesday and Wednesday at Big Lunch. So for those of you who have signed up, please fill in the form this week, by the end of this week, and if you want to play, just email me, just search in your compose, just go Kapi and So. Yeah, and the prizes for the winning team will be, for each team member, is a $30 gift card for Rebel Sports. Thank you.
Sweet. Ngā mihi, Sophie. Now we have our PB for our draw. Oh.
Alright.
Yep.
Just get the
And Miss
class.
Mac's going to come up.
We'll just get the class in here to do a drum roll, please. Shot, guys. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, from Rimu, we have Tumuana Saina.
From Tōtara, we have Jackson Tahiwi.
And from Mātai, we have Siosaya Faleto. I hope I pronounced that right. Sorry if I didn't.
And from Cody, we have Nisha Kaur, I think.
Cool, so if your name was announced just before, please go and see Miss Mac and she'll have your canteen vouchers for
I'll
you.
bring them round to
Oh, okay.
your kaiarahi. And I'm lucky enough to be presenting Random Act of Kindness this week, and the reason I'm doing it is because it goes to these two. So Kaya and Tia are great buddies, and last week they went out of their way to support a student within their buddy class, and that student went and put a notice into the Random Act of Kindness box. So you two, well done, awesome work.
Thank you.
Thank
yeah,
you.
just on just on that note of what Miss Mac was saying, I'm just going to add my little 2 cents in. Yeah, we really just wanted to help out this young girl who felt a little bit embarrassed about what it was. So we just want to let it known that if there's anything going on for students around, whether it's to do with uniform, stationery, please just come see us senior students, because I know it can be a bit intimidating going to see teachers or the staff. But yeah, us senior students are here to help, and we can be like the messenger between the two. So yeah, that's just a bit of input.
Please don't be shy about it, guys. We're really here to help.
We're like one big happy family here. Okay? Cool?
We're here to support. But yes, I think that brings us to the closing of our assembly today. Yeah, so I'll just finish us off with a quick karakia. Kia tau, kia tātou katoa, te ata whai o tō tātou ariki a ihu karaiti, me te aroha o te atua, me te whiwhinga taitanga ki te wairua tapu, ake, ake, amine.
Amine.
Have a great day, guys.
Thanks guys.